So Wuthering Waves has been out for quite a few months now, and it's been absolutely amazing. On the day of recording, changli is actually coming out today, and a lot of people can actually claim him as a free resonator, which is amazing. Obviously, they've had a ton of really cool events, the stylizing of the game is amazing. I think the quests have been pretty decent. They haven't been anything super mind-blowing, but they also haven't been bad, so honestly, I think that's a win for Wuthering Waves. But it seems like after all of this good stuff that they've been doing, people still hate the game and still want to speak negatively about it, which I just don't get at all. And in this video, we're going to be going through a couple of people that have pointed some stuff out which is completely wrong about Wuthering Waves and, comparing it to other games like Genshin Impact, Zenless Zone Zero, and a couple other ones. They're just crazy people on like Twitter and stuff, which I just wanted to, point out and make fun at. And I also want to talk about at length how it is a problem at the moment of, people comparing gacha games way too much and kind of like hating on them for no reason, which honestly I just think is pretty stupid. But before I get into this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it. And also go to Gamer Subs, use my code KAZO, where you can get yourself 10% off a ton of cups and tubs. They also have an event going on where you can get free shipping at the moment, so I definitely recommend you guys go check that out. And even if you're on the fence about getting Gamer Subs, then you can actually get a free sample, and with that free shipping event, you can get free shipping for it. So you get a sample completely free, just go down to the link below, and then you can get it only if you use my code. But let's get back into the video. So recently there's this post that I put up on Twitter, which actually did pretty decently, where I said that there's no way that Genshin Impact players are saying that Wuthering Waves copied them after the whole Breath of the Wild copying. Now this is a post on a different social media site, I forgot what it's called, but it's like a smaller kind of site, and they pretty much post two screenshots of Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact saying, coincidence? Surely. Wuthering Waves or Genshin? Lol. So pretty much they put two similar kind of looking screenshots in terms of buildings. Obviously, the entire layout is very similar. You got the mountains behind, I guess. You got a couple of buildings and a couple of cliffs, saying that these are the same things, when obviously it isn't. There's a lot of people in these replies that are agreeing. What's even similar here? The cliffs. Did Genshin Impact invent cliffs or something? Which again is totally true. Obviously, there was a few comments from some Genshin Impact fans kind of angry about this, saying stuff like, no, they copied, Wuthering Waves are copying Genshin Impact, which obviously isn't the case. As you can see here, the overall color scheme for Wuthering Waves is way more monotone. It's less saturated. Whereas Genshin Impact, you can see the bright greens and stuff compared to the Wuthering Waves one. And it's just a little bit weird from the fan base altogether, saying that they copied a game when their own game actually, copied from another game. So if we look at a screenshot from some of the Wuthering Waves world here, you can see that it's got a very post-apocalyptic kind of style to it, which is what they kind of were looking for, It looks very run down, very old, very rusty, very the colors are very unsaturated, which again was the design they were going for. And whenever they first did the, first beta test, the unsaturated colors were even more exaggerated. They actually had to boost it up a bit because people found it a little bit too depressing. But I still think that they actually managed to cater their own style, and honestly, I think it looks amazing. And then if we compare that to Genshin Impact, you can see how way saturated that is compared to this photo. Now, I don't think this is edited or anything. I think this is literally the actual saturation from Genshin Impact. For me playing it, it seems pretty familiar as well. But you can see how the two look nothing alike. One looks way more realistic than the other, and Genshin Impact just looks cartoony overall. But for some reason, this person was absolutely adamant that the two games look too similar, which again is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. As I was saying, a lot of the replies are saying, did Genshin Impact invent cliffs? No. Did Genshin Impact invent buildings? No. Did Genshin Impact invent massive mountains? No. It's literally a bunch of people, who play Genshin Impact or whatever, who think that Hoyoverse just invented everything in a gacha game, whenever they didn't. And in fact, they've actually just been copying off of Breath of the Wild this entire time. And, obviously there's nothing wrong with Genshin Impact taking inspiration and, copying a lot of stuff from Breath of the Wild. Obviously it worked because they're making a ton of money now. But at the same time, you can't be saying that Wuthering Waves is copying Genshin Impact whenever your own game did it. There's no point in getting mad about it because, again, your own game has literally done this. You can't be saying that this is the worst thing in the world for a company to do, even if they did copy it, which it doesn't even seem like they copied it in the first place. And as I was saying, I think that's a really big problem in the gacha game community at the moment, is people comparing games way too much. Now, obviously, I do it quite a lot whenever it comes to stuff like the gacha revenue chart here. Obviously, it shows all of the gacha games and stuff, how much they're making, and pretty much tells you how well they're doing, which does allow you to compare a lot of the games, how well they're doing monetarily, which I think is actually okay. If you want to compare a game in terms of revenue and how it's doing, obviously, it's good to see, how good a game is doing compared to another, but I think having a whole hierarchy based on revenue, based on, popularity and stuff is just stupid. Although Wuthering Waves has lost a lot of popularity and revenue, I still think it's an amazing game, and I think a lot of people can agree that the game is still very, very good. And the same goes for a lot of the other gacha games that are in this revenue chart that are lower down. Obviously, they're not making a lot of money, but I think a lot of the games are still pretty decent, and that they just haven't had that chance, whether it be advertising, whether it be something else. as we've seen with like Punishing Grey Raven and stuff, which was also made by the Wuthering Waves developers, you know, they've made 1.8 million, which again isn't a ton, but it's still sustainable. But Punishing Grey Raven is an amazing game. It just didn't have that advertising to boost up to the top, because I think if it did have that advertising, then it would be somewhere up here with Wuthering Waves and, you know, some of these other games. And I think there's just a lot of people online, especially towards me, who makes a lot of content on a lot of different games, saying that, you know, we're kind of biased towards one game. And obviously, some people have different reasonings for it. Obviously, the Steamed Bun claimed that I was being paid by Wuthering Waves to, you know, shill for them, which again isn't the case at all, as I've made many positive videos about Hoyoverse in the past, and I've made many positive videos about literally any other gacha company. Like, I've made positive and negative videos, because again, I do get a lot of comments, people telling me, hey, oh, you're doing way too much positive Wuthering Waves stuff. Honestly, I'm making a lot of Wuthering Waves content just because it's popular and because I enjoy the game. I just like playing the game. But also, I'm making content on Genshin Impact, Honkai Star, you know, Zenless Zone Zero, and pointing out the flaws in them, but also being positive about them too. I also point out the flaws in Wuthering Waves if you haven't seen any of my other videos, and I think a lot of these comments and a lot of these, you know, posts and stuff saying that I only shill for Wuthering Waves or something just hasn't watched any of my videos, because that isn't the case at all. I've been negative and positive about every single game, and me personally, I don't think there's any reason to be biased towards one game, you know? I just like to play whatever I enjoy, you know, pick up a game that I like. I've been playing a lot of Brown Dust, a lot of Azure Lane as well. I really like those games. Although I don't make content on them, I do really enjoy playing them. The same goes for Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star. I play all of them and enjoy all of them. That's the thing. I'm not one of these guys who just sits there and doesn't play Zenless Zone Zero because, you know, I think it's a bad game and Hoyoverse, you know, are competing with Wuthering Waves. I don't care about that, you know? I just play whatever is good, and I just play whatever I enjoy. If I don't enjoy Wuthering Waves, if I don't enjoy Zenless Zone Zero, if I don't enjoy, you know, Genshin Impact, then I just won't play it, and that's pretty much as simple as that. So again, I don't see why a lot of these people are saying that I'm just, like, shilling certain games. Obviously, I've made a couple of previous videos about this too, and it is a big problem in the community. But it's not just me as well, it's a lot of other content creators too, whether it be, you know, towards Genshin Impact. A lot of people calling people Hoyo shills and stuff like that, which again, there are people that are more exclusively signed by Hoyoverse and do a lot of, you know, content for them, you know, such as Ziox, Tawanto, people like that who have been signed on by Hoyoverse, or not even signed on, but, you know, get paid by them, you know, to do adverts and stuff, which again, I think is completely fine, but it seems like they also enjoy just every gacha game too. I think a lot of them have played Wuthering Waves, and I think a lot of them enjoy Wuthering Waves. Now, yeah, they might not make content on it, but I think everyone just needs to chill out a little bit whenever it comes to, you know, comparing a lot of the games. And whenever I say Wuthering Waves is doing good, or Zenless Zone Zero is doing good, I'm not shilling the game. I'm just pointing out the obvious facts are going on, and it's not a competition at all between the games. And honestly, there's no point to be fighting for these billion-dollar companies. Well, I don't know if Kuro Games is a billion-dollar company, but it's still a pretty big company, and there's no point fighting for them saying, oh, my game's the best kind of thing, because it's just stupid. Honestly, there is no point to it, and I just want to enjoy every game, and I'm sure a lot of you guys want to enjoy every game too. So I just thought I'd talk about that little post there. I thought it was kind of funny to share. Obviously, it got quite a lot of engagement on Twitter, so I thought I should make a video out of it. And also, yeah, I just wanted to talk about the overall, you know, state of gacha game communities and how they are a little bit at war with each other whenever they don't really need to be. And I think the people that don't enjoy a game should just not play it. I think it's just simple as that. And I think me as a content creator who makes content on games, I do need to talk about a lot of this negative stuff as well as the positive stuff, because it keeps people informed in what's happening to the game in the most kind of like neutral way possible. And obviously, I have brought up a lot of the positives and negatives in Wuthering Waves, as well as a lot of the other games too. Yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think that, you know, it's getting a little bit too crazy with the whole brigading on each of the sides? Or do you think that the community is fine and that there's nothing really wrong going on? But yeah, as I said, if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And also go over to Game Subs and use my code KAZA, where you can get yourself 10% off a ton of cups and tubs. And yeah, I definitely recommend checking out that event. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.